Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Vanessa and you are watching the Exploring Oracle, or the Exploracle for short. Today we will be taking a look at this special little deck. This is the Nicoletta Ceccoli Tarot, and it comes in this tuck box. It is published by Los Scarabeo, and I call it a special little deck because this is my second copy of the Nicoletta. And oops, folded my little white book, and I got the mini one first because I wasn't sure if I would resonate with the art, because as you can probably tell from the box, it does have this image of like a doll, and I believe that is, not everyone likes that kind of art, and I wasn't sure because I was drawn to it, but again I wasn't sure, so I got the mini first, and I really liked it, and I kept it on my work table for several months, and I kept checking it whenever I was, I don't know, I was just feeling a little bit like I needed some guidance, and it was just, I don't know, we connected. So I told myself, I wanted to get the full size, so I rehoned my mini and got the full size version. And the funny thing is, I haven't worked with the full size yet, but I think it's because I feel like we're already old friends, and that when I decide to pick it up again, it would be there for me. So yeah, so this is the little white book that comes with the full sized version of the deck. I don't think there's a lot of difference from the one that you get from the mini. It is mostly just key phrases written by Linnea Weatherstone, though. I think, I'm not sure if it's written here. So the instructions are made by Linnea Weatherstone, and I like her style of writing. So you just get like a quick phrase, and you have until about page 19 for the English reading, the English instructions, and then the rest go into different languages, as with most Los Scarabeo decks. Here are the cards. So you get your 2 extra cards, and the card stock it's typical Los Scarabeo card stock. It's not too thick, not too thin. I don't mind it. It shuffles really well, in my opinion. It is matte with a little bit of a sheen, and these are the backs. I think it's a recognizable back if you watch Tarot Tube a lot, and it is reversible. Alright, so let's just zoom in so you can take a closer look at all of the cards. Alright, so you do have these borders, but I think that it fits the deck well. I can't imagine this deck being borderless. I love that it has these borders and these ornate numbers and symbols, just so it doesn't distract you from the art. So this is pre-existing art, and it's been chosen and selected and compiled to form a tarot. And even though the tarot wasn't in mind when the art was created, I think that the images chosen fit really well. This is the Lover's card, and it's another one of those decks. I mean, I'm not an intuitive reader. At least I'm still learning to be one, or I'm still developing that skill. I do prefer looking at the guidebook. But this is another one of those decks that even if I don't pick up the little white book, when I get a card, I get a message. And I love it when that happens, because I'm still developing that skill to become an intuitive reader. So the few times that has happened to me, it's quite magical, and I think that's why I'm so in love with this deck, even if I don't really use it much. I mean, I haven't used it since I picked up the full size, right? Looking at it again now, I'm just feeling this connection to it again, because I really like the art. It has this dreamy, kind of creepy vibe, but just, it just works. And I know it's not for everyone. I know a lot of people actually find this creepy. And this one actually kind of reminds me of the twins in The Shining. But there's also really something very magical about the art in this deck and the deck itself and the messages that I get from it. So I'm very happy I picked up the full size. I think it's one of those decks that have a special place in my heart, since even though I have a huge number of decks in my collection, I think it's one of my favorites. And even though I don't use it as much, it's just there for me. Some people use this for inner child work. I haven't really gone into that type of work yet, so I can't speak to it, but I think it would make a good, a good deck for that. Definitely a great work for shadow work. But of course, any deck can be great for shadow work, but there's just something about this, I guess, the ethereal, dreamy, doll-like images on the cards that make it a good deck if you want to explore like any inner child hurts that you might have. Some really lovely cards. Definitely not for everyone though. And I think that's why learning tarot at this point in time is such a great time to get to know tarot, because there's just so many decks out there, and I'm sure that anyone interested in tarot would find a deck that would speak to them and intrigue them enough to get one and to start using it. And that's also one of the reasons why I post these flip throughs, not to encourage you to keep buying and to feed any toxic consumerism habits and all that, but it's just so you have an idea and you can take a look at decks before you buy them for yourselves. That's why I also try and keep reviews neutral, or at least just not overly excited about everything about the deck. I just tell you my honest thoughts about it. And if there are anything, or if there's anything that let's say I don't like about the deck, I do mention it so that you have both sides, the things I like and what I don't like. And there's some, but the way that the art is drawn, just picking one up and just sinking into the card or into the image, it just, I'm not great at meditation, but it would help. It helps this card. What am I saying? It helps if you put yourself in the scenery. And because it's so weird and great and creepy and all that, I think it helps me focus on it more. And look at this. 10 of Swords. Queen. It's not focusing too much though. I'm sorry if the other images were not as clear. Yeah, but I think it's because of the watercolor nature, or the light color we usually do. I zoomed out so that you can see how this shuffles, and then we will choose a card to read. Just so you have, oh, what am I doing? Give me a sec. I don't know how that happened. What? Okay, there you go. So again, let's see how this deck shuffles. So, as with most low Scarabeo decks, I don't really have any trouble shuffling this deck. Honestly, I sometimes prefer mass market cardstock because it is easier for me to riffle it compared to some indie decks that are just really thick. It's all a matter of preference, so it really depends on what you like. But for me, this cardstock is pretty good. It also side shuffles well, and then let's see if we can get a card to read. And probably let's see if the Nicoletta has a message for me, since I haven't used it since I got it. Whoops. Okay, then let's read this one. Oops. I think this is the Queen of Pentacles. So there is a guide in the guidebook. Oh, sorry. It tells you, since it just has the image of the card and then another image here to tell you what court card it is, then you do have here the symbols of the knight, the name, the knight, the queen, and the king. So this is the Queen of Pentacles. I keep saying it's the Queen of Pentacles, but in this deck it's the Queen of Discs, and it just says here that the Queen of Discs is one who gives abundantly of all of life's sweetness, generous and motherly, a resource for wealth. So let me find another card, maybe not a court card. Here, let's say the Eight of Wands, because there's some treasures in this little white book. Even though it's very short, some descriptions are really interesting. So for the Eight of Wands, it says, messages of light and hope are coming to you from many sources. Pay attention or you may miss them. Be prepared to take swift action. And then the key concepts is communication and a flash of understanding and quick responses. So it's short, but there's still a good message that you can get from the guidebook, the little white book, even though it is quite short and sweet. Anyway, so this has been the Nicoletta Ceccoli Tarot. If you like this video, please don't forget to click on the like button and do consider subscribing to my channel. I post videos at least once a week. See you again next time. Bye!